Today is June 23rd, and it's 4 o'clock. So please, roll call. Call the order.
Chairperson Wani Garza,
Here.
Vice Chair Ted Masiacos,
Present.
Alderman Jonathan Nunez,
Here.
Alderwoman Shweta Wade, Alderman at Large Keith Larson,
Here.
4 present.
Okay. The first item is approval the minutes 25-508. This meeting was held in June 11, 25.
So moved.
Motion approved by
Second.
Alderman Nunez.
Second.
Second, Alderman Larson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
Abstain.
4-0. Oh, you abstaining?
I was not present,
Oh,
Madam
you're
Chair.
not present, you're right. So we have 3-0. Thank you. Public comments?
No, we do not.
No? All right. The first item in the agenda for today is 25-0511, a resolution approve the final plat for Lot 1-62 and a Harvest Point subdivision in a vacant land located east of Radan Road and north of Battlefield Road.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Council. Jim Burchell, Chief Public Facilities Officer. I'd like to start with DSC Roof. DSC Roof we're going to do a total tear off, and then we have an old air handler which we're taking off. Anything that's not valuable up there, we're going to clean the roof up,
Sorry,
and this way, if we want to put solar panels, whatever we want to do,
I'm not wrong.
it'll be a clean slate for that. Then we move on over to
Hey.
City Hall fifth floor.
Yeah.
City
So
Hall
sorry.
fifth floor will be another total tear off, but it's different up there. There's I-beams that run across that really don't go to anything, that's been there for years. So part of this project will be removing them. So we open the roof up. Trying to think what else. That one, we did core samples, that came back with asbestos. That's why you notice that the money's increased. That's why. So
Okay, I'm
we'll
sorry,
take-
this is for the 25-433. You're talking about the building 77 South Broadway?
Yes.
Okay. When is the last time they did the roof in that one? Maybe not even us, the building, probably, right?
It definitely wasn't us. We inherited the building, and it's been like that. We've been chasing leaks here and there. And this right here, since there's so many divisions and departments in there, this will clean that building up for many years to come. We'll get a 25-year warranty after this project. And same with the fifth floor of City Hall. City Hall, as you know, we put $1.5 million in the council chambers and the fifth floor remodel project. So that's why this is important to get that roof done.
How many bids we have? Because I'm looking at that one.
There was 3 bids.
3 bids. And this one, this company, they did some work before in the city of Aurora?
Yeah, we also had our architect, Kluber, reach out and invest them, check all their references, they're good to go.
Okay.
Plus, we'll be overseeing them.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Madam Chair.
Yes?
Mr. Burchell, you mentioned 3 bids. I only see 2 here on this bid evaluation tabulation
Hold on.
form.
Hi, Jolene Coulter, Director of Purchasing. There was a 3rd bid. We had to disqualify them. They didn't meet the requirements.
Okay. Well, I think it would help to put it on here if they bid, and because you do have a pass-fail thing going on here too.
What we can do is we can make sure we had that in the memo stating that one was disqualified.
No,
So,
it's always nice to see at least 3 bids if you can get it.
yeah, I
minimum.
mean, it was, we had site visits and everything else to make sure that
Right.
they're seeing what they're looking at, but one vendor was disqualified due to not meeting the requirements.
Just for insight, Olson Roofing did not bid on this?
They did not.
No,
Okay, because they provided assistance, according to document, with finding some information, doing some core cuts. So, my only question is, timing of bidding. Is there a reason why we went out to bid just now, this spring? And I'll tell you why. I just beat you to the punch. This is like the toughest time to bid on a roof. You can expect the highest prices. Not guaranteed, but certainly against our favor. The odds are against us, so usually it's best to bid out a roofing project winter late fall or winter if you're gonna do it during the summer, so. Just to keep that in mind moving forward. I mean, I think that's why you see a fluctuation in price between one and the other. Anthony Roofing so high. So, and you probably could get more bidders around that time as well, because they're all looking for work as well. Just keep that for future reference. Yeah. So-
Thank you. Point well received.
So we had the budget for that, right, in 2024?
I'm sorry?
The amount was approval in the budget of 2024?
That's correct.
Okay. Yes, so we have the budget approval, so that's good, yeah, like Alderman Mesiaco say, when advance time, maybe in the future, a bit early, the way it's not too close. Right now, everybody is busy, obviously, and they want to charge more. Yeah, okay, so, yes?
One more question. References. Did we call their references?
Kluber called every reference.
Kluber did?
I went
We-
through
yeah,
it
we
with them
have some.
in detail, and they were really, really good. People who worked with them were very happy.
Okay, because one thing that doesn't show on the reference form is if the projects were of similar scope and size.
Okay.
So that was my only question. So I'm figuring they were?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you so much.
Definitely.
Okay. More comments, questions? No? So can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved by Alderman Ted Mesiacos.
Second.
Second, Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion pass 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is 25-0497, a resolution authorize the renovation of existing space in APD investigation unit to support a digital forensic program workspace at cost of $312,503.02.
Good afternoon, committee. Lieutenant Tom McNamara, Administrative Services Lieutenant with the Aurora Police Department.
Jim Burchell, once again, Chief Public Facility Officer. I'm going to take you through the facility side, and then Lieutenant will take you through the APD side. It's going to be a small build-out. There's an empty room there. There's pictures attached. And we're just basically going to square off the room, put a server room in there, and then we're going to have cubicles for the employees that were bought through the cooperative purchasing program. We'll put electrical, we'll ground the floor, and that's pretty much the extent of the facility side of it. Now the Lieutenant talk about the PD side of it.
All right. So the project itself is pretty much being contained within the investigations unit of the police department. There is currently it's about a 525 square foot conference room that is on the far west end of the floor or inside the unit that is controlled access or secured access that is very seldomly used. It very seldomly has been used since we moved in because there's other workspaces within investigations that are used. Our current digital forensics room has been growing for the last 4 or 5 years as we've added to it. We've added a digital forensics investigator. He's a civilian employee. And as the unit or digital forensics unit, I'm going to call it that, has grown, we've gotten more and more equipment. And at the time, we used a very small storage closet area that was centralized inside of the investigations unit as a whole to house this program. As you can see from the pictures that were attached with the Legistar, it's very cramped in there right now. It didn't start out that way 4 years ago, but this is where we're at now. And I tried to explain it in the cover memo here, but the amount of technical data received or brought in on most every investigation these days is extensive. Cell phones, computers, vehicles, cars, all the computers in a car. And it requires a lot of time, effort, and resources to try to efficiently extract that data, then process it, and then analyze it in a way that the digital forensics investigator can give that to a detective to work a case, build a case, and then try to successfully bring that through to get charges and then prosecute it. The state's attorney's offices know or are very much aware of the amount of digital data and the value that it has, and they often require us to do all of this work. Obviously, we would try to do it anyway, but we're at a point where we've pretty much just outgrown the room, and it's not efficient. It wasn't designed for this equipment. All of this equipment produces a lot of heat that right now we're kind of using makeshift fans to extract the heat out of this room so that we don't overheat computers and all the sensitive technology that's in there. So what we've done is we worked with the digital forensics investigator to help design the room, the work furniture. You'll see that through the quote that's in there. It's not cheap, I agree, but it's the right equipment for the job to make a more efficient workflow, a quicker product, and better serve the citizens of our city. So Jim went over the facility side of it. That's pretty much my side of it, and I'm open to any questions I can answer on that.
Yeah, I saw the floor plan. It's next to the court, right? Right, almost in the corner?
No, it's actually kind of in the middle of the building. If you're looking at the building from east to west, it's in the middle, but it's at the very west end of the investigations floor. If you've been to the KIC unit, it shares a wall with the KIC unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the room
Okay.
that we're proposing.
What was in the room before? Was it storage?
No, it was designed as a major case room, like a conference room that they could, in major cases such as a homicide or an aggravated battery, that investigators could go in there, have a conference with officers or attorneys or just whatever they had to do, and put things on a whiteboard and leave it up there. And then both doors in that room are secured. So there's less of an opportunity for somebody that's not supposed to have that information see it,
Well,
if that makes sense.
It's kind of expensive, but I think it's a necessary, especially if it's for evidence and all that, and resolve the cases more fast, I think. Questions, comments? Yes?
Yeah, I have some questions, I guess not directly related to the renovation, more about the digital forensic program, and the policies around storing that data. I don't think it would be stored in this room. It'd probably be stored elsewhere on a database. Do we know if there are existing policies for security auditing of this data? I know in the private sector, SOC 2 is used as a security audit. And are there maybe data retention policies?
I'll do the best I can because it's a little bit above my head, but in this room currently, our digital forensics investigator has his own server that is off of the city network, so that there's, I don't want to say built-in security, but less of an opportunity to get hacked. It's has its own secure T1 line that comes in. The proposal that's in front of you includes the build-out of another server room. It's a smaller server room, but as far as how all of that is stored, where, that's kind of beyond my knowledge. I could say this, the workflow in the room, and I tried to capture it in that picture, or one of those pictures. Let's say cell phones, for example. They're brought in from our evidence unit. They're brought into the room while he's working on them, and then they're put back into evidence when he's completed, just in case it's needed for the criminal case, anytime in the future. The data itself, I can look into it for you, but I don't know if we have a specific policy on how that is maintained or audited.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's something that would be worth pursuing maybe in a separate meeting. Yeah, and I'm curious about a lot of things around the way we're storing data. As you said, there's more and more data that we're collecting that's available as technology is collecting data in every space. Everyone has cameras everywhere. So I think it's important to be mindful of how we're storing that and how to protect people's data.
I would agree
So-
with that. I am sure that there's standards in place. I couldn't speak to that right now.
Okay.
I don't want to attempt to even talk about that, but supposedly he said that nothing on the it'd be on the city's network. So it goes all to, I think it's FBI,
I couldn't
but not, I can't speak to that.
speak to that right now, yeah. I do know that the server room that he's talking about being built, there's specifications for cooling, just because of the amount of heat that it produces, which is kind of a problem we're running into right now. So that is
Especially in a
accounted for.
small space.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't mention. In this plan, there's a ductless split that's going into that server room to give additional cooling. So I didn't mention that.
What is the plan to finish the whole area in there, the room? With the
How long?
equipment and everything?
How long?
Yes.
I would say 3 months max.
I believe there's a 60 to 90-day lead time on furniture. Obviously, the room would have to be built out first. Something I think I forgot to mention at the beginning here is the project is slated to be funded through drug funds, asset forfeiture through the Department of Justice. There was a 2025 decision package to use those funds for this project. It was a carryover, and that was in the amount of, I believe, $240,000. So there's a difference here of $72,503, I believe. And that would be handled through a budget amendment from the asset forfeiture fund to cover that difference.
So I can see that the room is being built out for a team of 3, looking at that next person possibly next year. Is the new space that they're going to be moving into, if this group does expand even further, is there room to add another 4th person, potentially a 5th person, or are you capped at that 3-person space?
So I think it's important to note, we do have the 1 DFI now. We're currently in the hiring process of a 2nd DFI through the 2025 decision package. And we have plans to request a digital analyst for 2026. That would be 3 individuals. Now, whether or not they have to have their main desks inside that room, it's more so of a appropriate workspace for them. One thing that's mentioned in the proposal, but there's static dissipative floors that they're trying to build in. If not, all the workstations have to be grounded to account for the sensitive nature of electronics and just static shock, static electricity. So that's why the space was identified, but we do have open cubicles outside if they had to have an actual physical desk to sit at to do their paperwork and their reports. This would be more of a workspace. So I don't want to say it's made only for 3 people. I'm sure more than 3 could work inside of there. There's more than 3 workstations. The way you look at it, I mean, several people could be working at the same time in there.
I appreciate that.
More questions?
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I
Yes.
may. Lieutenant, is this your first time? Was your first project before us?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I
okay.
took over for now Commander Raleigh.
Yeah, I wasn't here 2 weeks ago, so I wasn't sure if you just showed up, but.
No, this is my first one. Could you
All right.
tell?
Well, we'll say this. You definitely have gone back to a standard that we had when I was first on finance, or she was on the finance committee, and what the presentations were from the fire department. I would say you're right there, if not a little bit over. You don't do it, but the only thing probably make this better presentation is probably a video. But here's my first question. But first of all, I'd like to say that 21 years ago I worked on a police station in my architectural practice, and heating and air conditioning is very important. And Rich brought up static, and it's highly important too, especially when you're dealing with data. So, not to be underestimated. It's more so than just space and having enough space too for what the function and what needs to happen there for the department. But you have provided so much. I have a real tough question for you this first time.
Sure.
And it's going to be more of a recommendation because I saw the pictures.
Sure.
For me personally, my taste, the colors are a little dated. if your superiors don't want to make a choice to improve things, the gentleman right here next to you, Mr. Birchall, he's done a nice job with this room.
Thank you.
I'm sure he more help you pick some colors there that people can enjoy, especially in a closed space. There's no windows in that too, so make
I
it
would,
comfortable.
I would be happy to use Mr. Birchall as my interior designer on
Yeah.
this project.
Oh, Thank you.
So, and,
Yeah, that definitely, I agree with you. It's the proper space is an important aspect of the project. I mean, we're currently using a box fan in the ceiling to extract heat, and we've outgrown for sure.
yeah, well, comfort's very important, especially when you don't have windows as well, besides the conditioning of the space.
Or windows that open.
There you go, that too, perhaps too. So I appreciate this presentation.
All right,
that
you're
you have
welcome.
before
Thank
us.
you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion
Second.
approved by Alderman Ted Misiacos, second Alderman Nunez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passed 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, no other item in this agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Alderman Ted Misiacos,
Second.
second Alderman Larson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion adjourned. The meeting at 4:22 p.m. Thank you very much.